The sewers beneath Sector 9 smelled of rust and desperation. Aaron Cole had grown used to it over the years. The perpetual darkness, the drip of contaminated water, the echo of his own footsteps against corroded metal. At 17, he was one of thousands of forgotten humans who called the underground home. Remnants of Earth's collapse after the Galactic Union had absorbed humanity as a developing species. He was scavenging near the old maintenance junction when he heard it, a soft whimper, almost swallowed by the hum of overhead traffic. Aaron froze, his salvaged lightstick casting shadows across the tunnel walls. Pain was a universal language, and whoever made that sound was hurting badly. He found her slumped against a rusted pipe, clutching her leg. Even in the dim light, Aaron could tell she wasn't human. Her skin shimmered with an iridescent quality, shifting between silver and pale blue. 4 delicate fingers wrapped around a wound that leaked luminescent blood. Her eyes, large and amber, locked onto him with a mixture of fear and hope. "Please," she whispered in broken Standard Galactic. "Help me." Every survival instinct Aaron had developed screamed at him to walk away. Aliens meant trouble. Aliens meant authorities. Aliens meant questions he couldn't afford to answer. But those eyes held something he recognized, the desperate loneliness of someone who had nowhere else to turn. He knelt beside her. "I'm Aaron, let me see." Her leg bore a deep gash, likely from a fall through one of the street grates above. Aaron tore strips from his already threadbare shirt, cleaning the wound with precious filtered water from his canteen. She winced but didn't cry out. "What's your name?" he asked, trying to distract her. "Nyla Tren," she breathed. "Thank you, human. Call me Aaron, can you walk?" She tried to stand but collapsed immediately. Without thinking, Aaron scooped her up. She weighed almost nothing and carried her to his shelter. A hollowed-out section of abandoned transport tube that he'd made habitable over months of careful work. He laid her on his sleeping mat, the only soft thing he owned. She was shivering, her skin flickering erratically. Aaron wrapped her in his thermal blanket and prepared the last of his nutrition paste, heating it over a small chemical burner. "Why are you helping me?" Nyla Tren asked, her voice stronger now. Aaron shrugged. "Because you needed help. That's enough, isn't it?" She studied him with those ancient-looking eyes. "Most species would not, especially not for someone like me." "Yeah, well, most species left us humans to rot down here," Aaron said without bitterness. It was simply fact. "Maybe that's why I know what it's like to need someone to care." They talked through the night. She told him she was running from someone, though she wouldn't say who. He told her about life in the sewers, about the community of forgotten humans who looked after each other, about his dream of someday seeing the stars his ancestors had once touched. As dawn approached, though dawn meant nothing in the perpetual underground, Nyla Tren finally slept. Aaron kept watch, wondering what he'd gotten himself into. The next morning, Aaron woke to chaos. The entire sewer system was flooded with light. Military-grade searchlights pierced every tunnel. The thunderous sound of heavy boots echoed from a dozen directions. Aaron scrambled up, ready to run, when his shelter's entrance exploded with armed figures in ceremonial armor. But they didn't attack. They knelt. A tall alien in flowing robes of impossible colors swept into the room, followed by what could only be a royal guard. Her eyes, the same amber as Nyla Tren's, were filled with tears. "My daughter," she whispered, rushing to Nyla Tren's side. Aaron's mind reeled. "Daughter?" Nyla Tren woke, groggy but alive. "Mother?" The woman, clearly someone of immense importance, held her daughter close before turning to Aaron. "You are the one who saved her?" Aaron nodded, unsure if he was about to be executed or rewarded. "I am Empress Veltara of the Luminary Sovereignty," she said, her voice carrying the weight of worlds. "My daughter disappeared during a diplomatic visit to this sector. We've been searching for 3 days, Princess." She was a princess. Aaron had saved a princess. The Empress knelt before him, an act that made her guards gasp in shock. "You gave her shelter when she had none. You shared your food when you had little. You asked nothing in return. The Luminary do not forget such debts." Within hours, Aaron's life had transformed beyond recognition. He was brought to the Luminary flagship, cleaned, fed, and clothed in fabrics he couldn't even name. But the real shock came when the Empress addressed the Galactic Union Council, with Aaron standing beside her. "Humanity has been relegated to the shadows of the galaxy," she declared, her words broadcast across 1,000 worlds. dismissed as primitive, kept in poverty, denied their rightful place among the stars. Yet it was a human, a boy who had every reason to turn away, who showed more honor than entire civilizations. She turned to Aaron. This boy represents what humanity could be, what they should have been allowed to become. The Empress declared a formal alliance between the Luminari sovereignty and Earth. Humanitarian aid flooded the human sectors. Opportunities for education, space travel, and citizenship in the greater galaxy opened up overnight. The forgotten people of the sewers were forgotten no more. Nylatren recovered fully, and she visited Aaron often during the transition period. "You changed everything," she told him one evening as they stood on an observation deck, watching Earth rotate below. "I just helped someone who needed it," Aaron said, still overwhelmed by everything that had happened. "That's exactly why you changed everything," she replied, smiling. The galaxy had forgotten what simple kindness looked like. You reminded us. Years later, when Aaron Cole became humanity's first ambassador to the Galactic Union, he would remember that night in the sewers. He remembered choosing compassion over safety, humanity over survival, and he understood that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness could indeed shock the galaxy. The Luminari had a saying, "The measure of a civilization is not in its weapons or wealth, but in how it treats the helpless." Aaron Cole, the poor boy from the sewers, had shown them all what that truly meant.